Hey, good morning everyone. Happy Monday. It's the start of a new week. It's May 13th. Prices of BTC currently at 7,100 flat, as you can see. I had mocked up this 5-minute chart right here for our community, and I mentioned that we were seeing somewhat of a inverse head and shoulders right here, but more importantly, what we were seeing is this low right here that was put in right around about 67.50, and then a higher low right here, okay, according to this line. So this inverse head and shoulders is invalidated. Why? Because you usually don't want that right shoulder to kind of just like keep moving sideways. A sizable time, or rather a reasonable time frame that's the size of the head or the left shoulder, however long it took to form either of these, you don't want to even double that time frame. Okay, so in this case you could see that the inverse head and shoulders is invalidated, so I'm going to get rid of this, and this higher low still stands. Now beyond that, once you have higher lows put in, right, kind of like higher lows like that, remember I mentioned many videos, you have to have higher highs put in as well. Okay, this is the definition of a continuation or on the bullish trend. Okay, at least on whatever time frame you're looking at. So you can see on the 5-minute that technically still hasn't happened. We have to first break past this high right here, which is 71.80. You can see we're just in this middle trading range right now between 71.80 and between 68.68 for the last couple of hours. Okay, so what we really need to see is a nice pop above 71.80. Then the next level to look for is another higher high, which would be about 72.50. Okay, now let's zoom out on the 1 hour and see what's happening. So if you watch my YouTube video from yesterday, guys, you will see that I mentioned we were somewhere over here yesterday, okay, when I made my video. And I mentioned that if prices were to truly dump, more than likely they'll pop back up somewhere in this middle region, retest it, and then head down if they truly want to go down further. And as you can see, that's exactly what happened. Because oftentimes what happens is, you see prices dumping and dumping. No one really sells here. They sell all the way right near the bottom. Okay, that's just human psychology. People don't really wait for the bounce back up to this level where usually this support right here, this big wick right here, has turned into resistance, right? You could see how that gets targeted almost perfectly, okay? See, the bottom of this wick touches the top of these couple of candles right here. Why? Because whoever was, putting up supports right here to hold the price up, once the price dumped and tanked out, and these same people became the sellers right here. Why? Because they know one thing for sure is that if price reaches up to this level and cannot get above it, that means that it's time to get out. Okay, so usually when you drop down, at least a couple $100, whatever, usually look for that 50% 618 fib on the way up, kind of like this. Okay, so let me show it to you. So we draw it up from here to right there. Sorry, I have the extensions on, I think. So let me turn this on real quick. So here's 50 and 618. I'm going to turn this, and this off. Okay. So you could see that it reached up right into that 50 fib right there and then turned back around. Okay. This is a sign of at least weakness showing on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's going to be persistent, but as I just showed you on the 5-minute chart, the levels to look out for are clearly, above us, right? 71.80 and then 72.50. Okay, let's see how the 4 hour time frame looks. I mean, for the most part, I still don't see anything, in terms of structural issues on the 4 hour. We still got consistent movement on the way up, unless you start seeing the 4 hour sort of turn, kind of like this, create a big lower high, and then you see a lower low created. So these wicks have to be broken and candles have to start closing under, say like 6,700, 6,600. That's when the trend has shifted and there may be more downside ahead. Okay, but for now it hasn't happened, so we can't just assume anything. Okay, for now the prices look decent. We just ticked up another $25. trying to head back into this, choppy area that we had. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see how on the daily prices look. I would say, the daily could definitely use a pullback, maybe even a bit of consolidation in this region. We tend to look at the 400 moving average because that covers an entire 1 year of prices. And we spoke about how if you consolidate over the 400 moving average for maybe a week or two, this is a very positive sign. It's a very positive sign, in many markets. So I wouldn't be surprised if that same psychology applies to these markets, because it's usually, the smart traders who know what to look for at these critical levels, right? So when you have consolidation in this region right here above the 400 moving average, flipping sort of this previous resistance right here into support, this is going to be a very positive sign for Bitcoin. With that being said, in our Cryptosomniac community, we did let go of all our positions. Let me show you guys real quick. And this is something, again, we have 7 days free, guys. Come join the community. You can just go right here, cryptosomniac.com, hit the products page, and you get daily analysis like this, especially if you're an Advantage member, every single day. Okay, and you just click Advantage, and you can join for 7 days free. Okay, so here you see this is the Moon Lounge community. This is where all the magic happens. We're pretty active in our community. We have the short-term, medium-term, and long-term channels. This is where I provide all the trade setups of what I'm taking as a trade. And you can see right here, we closed out all my trades, and I'm never afraid to list my losers. So you can see this was a loss right here, but we had plenty of gains, right? You could see 5% LTC. We got 6% on it, 15% trading capital on BCH. We pulled a nice 14% on it. Ethereum, 15% capital, 8.3% gain. And then Bitcoin is still open with a nice 24% gain, right? And then 95% I'm still in cash right now because I closed out the rest of these trades. So I'm gonna look for opportunities to get back into the market based on what's happening. Here's that parabolic chart that I had mentioned in the previous few analyses. We're still on a nice big upward momentum, guys. There's really nothing to be scared of. This is the runners of how Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash compared to BTC, and more often than not, at least one or the other is outpacing BTC. But as you can see, whenever BTC takes a tumble, it's usually these alts. So as you can see right here, this is where BTC started dropping, right? And once it started dropping, all the rest of the alts, took a larger tumble, and then they're now trying to recover and beat BTC. Okay, it's just how the space goes. Okay, so again, go to cryptosomniac.com, join the Advantage program if you want to learn how technicals work. If you want to learn, exactly what we're looking at on a day-to-day basis. I would say the weekly chart is still looking pretty good. Nothing really special in terms of weekly scare. I would say there's a bit of a need for consolidation right here on the weekly as well. We've had some big massive candles, but we could easily push up all the way to say 8,000, 9,000 over the next couple of days. I really don't think it's going to be that hard to do so. We still have a lot of room on the RSI to go. Let me pull up the RSI. I know I saw this yesterday. So let's see where we are right now. Boom, boom. So here's the RSI, just barely getting into that overbought level. But remember, back in the 2016, 2017 bull markets, the RSI has hit, overbought multiple times, comes back, pulls back just a little bit, and then rises back up again. So this could very well be possible over the next couple of weeks. It's not abnormal for the RSI to be in the overbought level for multiple weeks, multiple months on end, especially once you've had a 15 month bear market. All right, the monthly chart still looks decent. I would say for the most part the monthly is bullish. I don't see any reason why not. Technically, I guess you could say that this is still the swing high as per the monthly, around about $7,900. So you want to sort of close above this level to be able to create, you know, a nice low and a higher high, like I mentioned earlier, right? So this is what you want to see on the monthly, okay? So you want to see a movement like this, and then a nice movement like that above, say, this level right here. Once you break above that, then you want to, you know, sort of retest this area right here as support, and then keep bouncing on up, okay? So that comes somewhere around 8,000 for BTC. Let's just say 8,200 to be safe. So monthly candles, I would say, are looking really, really strong. Let's see what else we got. I wanted to check out this chart on BTC. Maybe it's not this chart. Here it is. Okay, so on this chart right here, I mean, you could see that in this region right here, there's a big gap that hasn't been tested. Okay, previous resistance being turned into support. Okay, not that, you know, there's a whole lot of resistance here because we broke right through it, but all this choppiness that happened, you want to ensure that prices can come back, retest this level, and not just fall right through. Okay, you want to flip these previous resistance people into support and ensure that the bulls will hold this level down and then be able to push these prices higher. That's ideally how you want to see, you know, support and resistance flips. Okay, awesome. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to update on. Maybe I can go over Ether. Let's see how Ether is doing. And after I close out of my trades, I mean, I'm really just looking for better opportunities for Ethereum and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash and even BTC to show me that they're, you know, finding some strength to keep moving. For now, I still would like to see Bitcoin do something before I want to jump back into some trades. As I showed you earlier, you know, the levels to be broken are probably 7180, 7250 before I even consider getting in, because we could ultimately just create a lower high. And you can see same thing on Ethereum, right? If you sort of create a low like this, you want to see another higher low and a bit of a higher high, but we don't see anything like that just yet. It's happening a little bit, but now you want to see some closings of candles above this 192 area. All this is really looking like to me is sort of like a ascending triangle. Okay, so if Ethereum breaks out, the level to look for to get into a trade is probably about 192, 193, just in this region to be safe. Okay, and BTC looks like it's ticking on up, so let's go check that real quick live while we're here. I'm gonna check it on this chart. Okay, so here's that BTC 5-minute chart that I showed you guys. Okay, so here's prices starting to move and, you know, show strength again. First level is broken, 7180, but you want to see, you know, a nice hourly close above that, and then 7250 as well. Okay, so it's starting to move on up. This is a very positive sign that, you know, we've sort of created now this another base, probably around this region right here. Okay, so now you don't want to break past this region. So this is a, you know, a low, a higher low, another higher low. Okay, so I'm going to put that in right about there, right around that region. Okay, perfect. Let's see. So nice candles ticking up, and I would say it's probably making an impact on Ethereum too. So as you can see, Ethereum is hitting that same level, about 192. We needed to sort of break through this level, and then we can start considering trades. So I'll probably jump into Ethereum when I see some candles close above, say, 192.75 and 193. So those are the levels that you may want to mark for yourself if you want to jump in too. For Litecoin, the levels to watch are, I would say Litecoin is essentially already broken through, because it's already broken through these highs right here. If you want to be safe, probably around this level right here, about $89. Okay. That would be your next level to get into Litecoin, and then you can take that trade from here up to here. Again, none of this is investment advice. You can do whatever you want, but this is what I'll be doing. So that's another way you can look at Litecoin, Bcash. Same thing. I mean, all these, assets look the same. I would probably get into Bcash somewhere around 364, 365. So those are the levels I'll be looking for to get into all three of those trades. Okay, so about 193 on Ethereum, about 87 to 88 on Litecoin, and about 364 to 365 on Bitcoin Cash. Awesome. All right. I don't think I have anything else. Again, if you're not part of the Advantage program, come join, guys. Cryptosomniac Advantage, 7 days free. Tons of information, a great community. I post Bitcoin analysis every day in here, multiple updates through the day, as you can see, and then a pretty active community right there in Trader Talk. We have a huge education channel, so you can learn technicals on your own. And we have, margin trading if you want to learn, if you want to discuss fundamentals. We could even discuss the stock market or the Forex market. So all up to you. All right. Come join, and I hope to see you guys soon. Cheers.